Talking to AP about Travis Kelce, what's the tough? I mean, obviously there's a lot of things tough about that matchup, but what does he do really well that kind of is hard for you as a guy to prepare for?
He's always ready to go. You can see that over his career. I mean, I can't think of any games where he wasn't ready to go. I applaud him for that in terms of, one, being healthy. He knows that everybody's going to be looking for him, and he's prepared for that, and he still somehow makes all those plays. So that's one thing that stands out to me. I appreciate his toughness when you watch him on tape, whether it's when they ask him to block or the toughness in terms of contested catches. He does all that. And then just the ability just to keep doing it every week when he knows he has a target on his back. I commend him for that. And I know that, I know Andy and I know those guys are real happy about in terms of how he's able to do that on a day-to-day basis or week-to-week basis. And it's really impressive.
Nate said the other day you challenged them a couple weeks ago to be great, not good.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just talk about that mindset about bringing them along in that realm?
Well, it starts with what they want. These guys are, I'm always really, amazed at these young men in terms of the focus they must have had since they were young kids to say, I'm going to be a college athlete, that I'm going to try to be a professional athlete. And very few of them you run into don't have the desire to be great. And I said, let's do it collectively as a defense. Let's not just be good and have people pat us on the back. Let's try to be a great defense. And the challenge there was really because that's what they want. And so what's that mean? Good defenses or great defenses, they take the ball away from the offense. They stop the run. They're able to play disciplined pass coverage. And that's all the things that we're trying to get out there and or trying to do as a defense. So that was the challenge.
What have you seen defensively the last few weeks that have made you think the improvement's coming, like facets of the defense?
Really, the improvement starts with the improvement in fundamentals in terms of tackling, block destruction. You've seen that. We had a positive game in terms of not the result we wanted, but in terms of the run game against Miami. Looked like we wanted it to look for the most part. And guys are challenging in the pass game, playing, rushing with discipline, not allowing too many big plays. We get hit a couple times here and there, but not allowing too many big plays. But it all starts with the fundamentals.
I don't know if things ever click, but was there like a turning point for you, your defense, you think, this year? So, Paul, you really think things kind of went to a different level?
I just think when you look at the whole season, it's all about evolving and getting better during the season. I don't think it's any different for other defenses throughout the league. So did it click? You have to ask them. I just know that there's more tape on the opponents now. So you got an idea of what they're going to do. Guys have spent more time communicating with one another, spending time with each other on the practice field. So naturally, you're going to see some improvement there. But did it all of a sudden click? We played some good defense early in the season too. So, I don't know. I don't have an answer for that one.
6 takeaways, I think, since Antonio's taken over. It's tied for the most across the league. What has gone into that, you think, mostly?
It started in the spring with Josh, when Josh was here, in terms of making it a focal point of what we wanted to do. We emphasized it, whether it was Coach McDaniels, Coach AP, myself, and I think Rob Ryan does a great job in terms of he's the one tracking, punch attempts, chances to altered throws. So in terms of what we've been doing, we've been tracking and we've been celebrating the habit. And so, again, don't focus so much on the result, but celebrate the habit, and the guys are buying into it.
You drafted him. I know there was talk of Tyree playing up and down the line. Is that kind of down the road a little bit? Is he still focused on one spot right now, or?
Just focus. We'll see on Sunday. We'll see, but focused on him just improving. Defensive line, whether you're a 9 technique, a 5 technique. I know the combinations of blocks can be different, but it still comes down to reading your key, striking your key with your hands, getting your hands out in front of your eyes, and then being able to transition in the pass rush. So I always think there's a benefit for a young deep edge player to have some experience down inside, because I've told you guys before, in college, when they're that good, nobody's really blocked them before. So how good are they with their hands? When you force an edge guy to go inside, no different than what we did at New England when I had Chandler, when I was coaching D-line there. We put Chandler Jones on the inside first. It teaches him to use his hands. Oh, I can play with my length. Yeah, you can't just run around the edge anymore like you did in college. So I think there's a lot of positives that go into that when you move them up and down the line, especially early on.
You seen your practice that's helped them in practice so far? Or?
Well, again, what we've done in practice, we move everybody around and stuff, but, he's working hard to improve.
All good. Coach, just ask quickly about going up against Mahomes, the unique challenges that he presents to your defense.
Yeah. You're going to ask me now, or you want me to go? Okay. Oh, you did ask me. Okay.
Up against Mahomes and his unique challenges.
A lot of unique challenges. One, with his arm, he has access to the entire field. So that's something we point out from the beginning. He has access to the entire field. So we have to understand that. Two, in terms of the command of the offense, whether it's, again, talking about checking into run plays versus good looks, which is something that's, undervalued, I think, from the outside looking in. That's a big-time quality for a quarterback. His ability to get him in the right play, his ability to extend plays when something breaks down. So, it's a unique challenge since I've been in the league in terms of dealing with him. Aaron Rodgers was similar in terms of that mold when we faced him in the past, but the access to the entire field is a tough one because he could throw the ball anywhere. Plus, he's mobile. You look at the 4th down and 15, the 4th down and 20. I think every ball gets to the receiver's hand somehow. So, I don't know. How do you defend that? But it's a challenge. All right. Thank you.
Can I ask you about the end of the first half in Miami? The last 2 possessions, you guys went 3 running plays. You ended up getting the ball back on a turnover, and then clock management-wise, looked like you were playing for a field goal. Why go so conservative when you knew you were going to have to put points on the board?
Well, first thing, we were going to guarantee points. And the first couple plays there, the passes, one of them got tipped. And, we're looking for an explosive there. They're very they react a lot. We set a couple plays up earlier and in the previous games, and it just, that opportunity just didn't happen there. And I wanted to be smart in that area for our quarterback and make sure we had points.
Josh said this week, he'd like 20 carries, 20 plus, or 20 touches, 15-5, whatever it might be. Can you speak to that? I know each game is a different setup schematically about what happens, but just kind of that thought.
Oh, he deserves that. He's one of our best players on our team, and we got to be more consistent, across the board, and we will. And it's just, if you look past on the prior game, there's a couple of missed opportunities there you'd love to have back.
How do you prepare for somebody like Chris Jones who lines up all over the place in terms of what you're going to see from him?
Yeah, you stick to your scouting report. Fortunately, we had a couple games against him last year. He's a really good player, and every week there's someone like that in this league, as we all well know, and we've faced that the last couple weeks. So we have a game plan for it, and we'll stick to it.
Going back to Jacobs, as far as the targets and getting him involved in the passing game, is that like one of your priorities as a play caller to get him?
Just being involved, period. He's one of our best players.
You've seen Hunter more involved in the offense here, and he's delivering. What does he bring that's an added element to the offense under you?
He's very dependable. He's elusive, which we saw that in the game. Finally, that was good to see for him. And you can kind of move him around, all over the place, and he's very unselfish, and he's very deserving of opportunities, because the more we give him, the more he makes.
What overall kind of concerns you about their defense? Everyone talks about Mahomes and Kelsey on the other side, but overall on the defensive side, what concerns you the most?
No, they're very aggressive, very multiple. We just got to be on our stuff. We got to be sharp and kind of set the table the right way, starting with the quarterback, and just taking advantage of any opportunities, which they will show up throughout the game, and just be smart with that. They are a very good defense.
What was it like with Aiden the first hours after that game last week and this past week, kind of trying to bounce back from that game?
Yeah, it was a tough game, like they all are, win, lose, or draw. Just learn from the situation, which I try to do in the game, kind of where we're at, what happened, what they show us, what could we have done better. And he's very receptive. He's very smart, and it's just one of those things he's got to learn and take that to the next week and process it and just do a better job in certain situations.
You always hear about the game slows down, for rookies. Usually maybe it's about midway through an NFL season, but because he hasn't played as many games, do you think that the game has slowed down for him yet, or is it still going to be some time?
No, I mean, every week it presents its own set of challenges, and just him just sticking to his core rules and operating within the themes of the offense and the scouting report, and just taking what we do in practice to the game.
You guys took some shots on 3rd and short last week. Is that just that matchup, or is that going to be like a Bo Hardegree staple of your style of coach?
No, whatever it takes to get a first down, man. That's what we're about.
Anything else? You guys good? Yeah. All right, that's it.
All right, appreciate it. Absolutely.
Appreciate it.